Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a short video. I wanted to delve into a little bit about 3D accents and clear glossy type accents. I have been using this one, which is by Ranger, called Glossy Accents, for a couple of years now, and I use it on things like eyes or windows, glass, stuff that I want to be shiny. It dries to a clear gloss finish, and it's pretty much been the standard for a while. Then recently I was introduced to Deco Triple Thick, and it is a brilliant brush on gloss glaze, and it is similar, although it you put it on this, you squeeze on this, you can paint on, you can squeeze it out and then paint it, move it around with a silicone tip tool or a brush. Then I was recently informed that there is something made by Podge, and it's called Dimensional Magic. And while I was at Michael's today, I picked it up. So this is the Dimensional Magic by Podge, and it is Magic 3D Accents, and it is clear. Then beside it, I also noticed that they had one for iridescent glitter. So it's Dimensional Magic Mod Podge with iridescent glitter. So we have now 4 different products that I wanted to test out and see how they look, how they react, how they apply themselves to some use in my adult coloring books. So if you're interested in knowing how those products work in adult coloring books, then this would be of interest to you. I have done a little spread here to do some testing. So I have put out Glossy Accents Ranger, Deco Arts Triple Thick, then we got Mod Podge, a line for clear gloss, and one for the Dimensional Iridescent Glitter. So I have also done 3 different mediums. So we've got polychromos pencils, and let me just drop you down. Okay, so this is hopefully a little bit clearer of a view. I have gone and made some circles, and for each one of these products we're going to test it against 3 commonly used mediums in the adult coloring. So this is polychromos, so this whole thing is polychromos. This is a Copic or alcohol marker, so these are my Copic Chows, and then this is Pitt pens. So this is a pigment marker, this is an alcohol marker, and color pencils. Those are the 3 most typical things that you would be using in a coloring book. I do know that things don't always work over watercolor markers, so I did not include that as a test. While applying each of the different mediums, I will go ahead and do a voiceover to include the information that is on the original bottle or packaging that I received. So my Glossy Accents, just to let you know, I have put it in a separate bottle with an 18 gauge needle just for ease of application. But I will go ahead and put this on, and while I'm putting it on, I will read to you what it says on the original bottle. Glossy Accents is a clear dimensional gloss medium used to accent, dimensionalize, and brighten and magnify objects on paper. To use, do not shake. It will create air bubbles. Turn bottle upside down and allow liquid to flow to tip. We'll go ahead and do the Glossy Accents. I've covered that it starts off quite cloudy, and it will dry clear though. So that is one thing to note about the Glossy Accents. You do have to work to make sure that you don't get any bubbles with the Glossy Accents. So I do find that it takes a bit more to apply. Ideally, I use Glossy Accents in smaller areas. So this is quite a large area for me for Glossy Accents. If you do get air bubbles in the Glossy Accents, you should drag them to the edge or pop them, which is also why I use this needle nose type applicator, because it's a little bit easier to get rid of air bubbles. Glossy Accents requires 24 hours to dry. So usually I will do this at the end of my coloring session. You must leave your book open and walk away. Okay, we'll let that dry and we'll come back and see how the Glossy Accents looks in 24 hours. The next one is Deco Art Americana Triple Thick. It's a brilliant brush on gloss glaze. It has a flip top lid where you can squeeze it out. Then I'm going to use a silicone tip tool to move the product around. So I'll zoom you in. While I'm doing this, I will read you what it says on the bottle. Create a clear high gloss finish with one coat on hard surfaces. Directions: use an acrylic brush to apply. You can apply multiple coats for additional protection or on texture porous surfaces. Acid-free, water-based, permanent, soap and water cleanup. For additional product information and products, visit decoart.com. This is pretty much self-leveling, so just dragging it around with the silicone tip tool. Again, pop any bubbles if you see them. It applies much faster with the ability to squeeze it out. All of these products take 24 hours to dry. If you did want to use a paintbrush, I would use a paintbrush that you don't really plan on, don't use an expensive brush on it. Okay, and that is the Deco Art Triple Thick. The next one are the new items that I just picked up today. The first is Podge Dimensional Magic, and it is a Dimensional Magic 3D Accents, and we are doing the clear gloss. It comes with this cap screws off, and there was a seal underneath it. It has a tip that looks like a regular type of tip, and then a lid that has a little part at the top to securely plug that. So this definitely needs to be kept upright. So I wouldn't, once you open it, I wouldn't be storing it on its side. Okay. Thinner than the Glossy Accents, so it's really easy to squeeze. There's some bubbles there. I'm going to have to make sure I drag them to the side. And that was excellent. This product dries clear and allows the full color of the surface below to show through. It stays put. It's perfect for jewelry, paper, or crafting. How to use: turn bottle at an angle and squeeze gently. Do not shake. Allow 24 hours to dry. Keep out of extreme temperatures or humidity while drying to prevent cracking. Our last item is the Mod Podge Iridescent Glitter Dimensional Magic. So we'll see how this looks. And I'm quite interested because I've got the Christmas coloring going on right now. So again, this is a squeeze top nozzle, and it did have a safety seal before opening. Now this one is more cloudy than the first one, and I can already see some sparkles in it, so that's exciting. Instructions on using is exactly the same as the clear. Turn bottle at an angle, squeeze gently, let dry for 24 hours, keep out of extreme temperatures. Just a quick mention of the cost. I purchased both of these bottles at Michael's. The clear was $13.49. The iridescent glitter was $14.99. Both were coupon eligible, so those prices were before coupons, and these were much cheaper than Amazon. This is definitely going on easy. I think in small areas you're going to have to be careful that it doesn't come out too fast. Make sure I got the cap on tight. Let's zoom you back out. These are our 4 different glossy type of accents that we can add dimension to our page or clear, make things clear and shiny. Let's give this 24 hours. I'll come back to you in what will be just a moment for you, and it'll be 24 hours for me, and we'll test out how they all turned out and which one I think gave us the best results for the money. See you back shortly. Okay, It has been roughly 24 hours. Not quite, but it is the very next day, and I am excited to see how these 4 different products performed on the test mediums. So let's take a look. I, of course, left the book open while it was drying, and let me just lower the camera a bit and we'll take a look. They all are glossy. Some have a few more bubbles than others, but let's take a closer look at each one. Okay, all of them are glossy. All of them are slightly raised. All of them did affect the paper basically the same way, which is slightly wrinkled. So the larger the area, the more wrinkled your paper is going to be, because it is a wet medium that's going to dry over time on your paper. The ones with the most bubbles still happens to be the Glossy Accents from Ranger. Then there are a few here and a couple in here, but otherwise they all 3 of them turned out basically the same. Now this bottom one is the one with the iridescent glitter, and it comes off a little bit more cloudy, not quite as clear as this, but there is some glitter there. So that's kind of exciting. So let me try and get a light to show that better for you. Pretty excited about that. So I think that this would look really pretty in my festive coloring book. In fact, I'm going to use that right away on day 14, because I think that will be pretty spectacular. But I do like all of them. The ones to apply the easiest, I must say, were the Mod Podge. They come out of that nozzle very quickly, so you do need to be careful about that. But that also means you're not squeezing with your hand. So I do, though, think that once these are open, you really do need to keep them upright. I think that because they are liquidy, they will seep out of their containers if they are left on their sides at all. Glossy Accents has a tighter lid. It's a screw top. It has a smaller nozzle, which also is one of the reasons why it's so hard to get out. It is much thicker than the other 2, so consistency wise, Glossy Accents is still the hardest one to do. This comes out in a flip top cap, so very easy to pour out, but you do need to spread it yourself, and so you do need either a silicone tip tool or an old paintbrush you don't care about. So yeah, happy to have 2 more items added to my arsenal of glossy items to use. I think that they all have a purpose. Definitely for small tight areas, I think that the Glossy Accents is great because it is so hard to get out that it does really control how much comes out. So that part, I'm still not sad that I own it. Triple thick, I like it because it's almost self-leveling, and I like to do it. But I'm really excited now to try out this on my next coloring pages and see how I like that overall. So there you go. If you ever wondered what the differences were, ultimately they're all the same in that they all provide a shiny, clear surface for you, except for obviously the iridescent glitter one, which provides you a little bit of glitter. And I'm not sure if over a few more hours this will get a little bit lighter, but I don't think so. I think we're pretty much done. It did make the pen run a bit, so I'm not sure if that ran ahead of time because of the alcohol marker, or if that was because yeah, all of these seem to run a little bit, and that was just a ballpoint type pen. So interesting. All right, thank you so much for joining me on this little excursion. Just a quick look at all the different items that are out there on the market right now, in case you were wondering what they did, how they worked, and which one was worth your money. If you found any value in this video, please consider sharing it with a fellow colorist, someone who might be interested in the same items that we are. All right, take care and thank you for joining me. Bye-bye for now.